Growing up in Cole Harbour, now today you obviously think of guys like yourself, Sid, Nate, and it's this hub in Canada where some greatest hockey players in the world come from. But back then, before these names were about, what was Cole Harbour and the Cole Harbour minor hockey known for?
That's a great question. What were we known for?
I guess what style of play? What was the identity of the organization? Because the identity's set now.
I think the identity that I experienced was this culture of winning. We expected to win, and that was instilled in me from my first year as a novice, that the teams we played on, and I think it was the leadership and the organization, Phil Harrett, George Gallant, my coaches, Joey Mullane, Paul Mason, like all of my coaches growing up, Dennis Irwin, like we had this mentality that we expected to win every game. And in order to do that, we knew that we had to play like champions, and that's not easy. Like, you had to be humble and not take teams lightly and play from your heart and work harder than the other teams, and we practice harder than the other teams. So there was a culture of winning where we expected to win, and we didn't, like, finishing second was devastating.
Okay. So when you hear these stories, Jeff, about the culture back of Cole Harbour minor hockey back in the day and today, this week, the past 6 months, the past year, whatever it's been, of organizing the 40th anniversary of the Joe Lamontagne, how much pride do you take in that, knowing that the history's there?
Yeah, it's incredible, right? The tagline of the tournament is history and tradition, and it's really where we've found it from and have came from. And, to have greats like Joe, Sid, Nate, Cam Russell, all have been part of the Cole Harbour minor hockey organization and come up through, to really exemplify that winning attitude, that winning culture. I was in an executive meeting with the Cole Harbour minor hockey executive a couple weeks back, and one of the things we were talking about is the success of the teams this year, and that we are having a high winning percentage, like probably one of the best winning percentages that we've had in the past 5 years overall as an association. And just the pride in that, and feeling that as we come into the Joe, we have an opportunity to be awarding banners to our hometown teams, and that's exciting.
Is it nice that knowing like guys like Joe give back and are here representing, yourself, but as well as the Joe and Cole Harbour in general? Is it nice knowing that these guys are giving back? I know you said Cam gave ice to you guys a couple of years ago or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. We were short on some ice for the tournament last year, and Cam helped us out with the Mooseheads ice that they had booked in RBC Center on Pad C. They were on the road, so they weren't going to be using the ice, and just graciously said, yeah, here you go, no issue, no problem. Like, do you want us to get us that transferred over to our contract? He's like, just like forget about that. Like, it's taken care of. It's okay. It's an hour worth of ice.
That's awesome.
We're okay. It's great. I was just in Quebec with my young fella for the BSR tournament in Levi, Quebec, and Sid sent a message to the kids.
No way.
Heading into the Crosby Cup game, and just you could hear the emotion in me talking about it. Just the fact that he took the time out of his day in a busy NHL schedule to send a message to a group of 13-year-olds is incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome.